Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time it is that you are joining me. Hi, my name is Lindsay Smith. I am a partner success manager here at Supered, and this is our package builder camp. Already starting with the ums, guys. End state of this camp is to get you familiar with our package builder, as well as understanding best practices surrounding installing packages, and how you can add HubSpot assets as well as the Supered assets into a package to deploy to your clients. This call is geared more towards our Supered partners. So if you fall into the camp of Supered user or Supered curious, go ahead and stick around. But just a note that your Supered portals may not have the same capabilities as what we're going through. If it is something that interests you, absolutely let us know. We're always happy to get that unlocked for you. A couple of housekeeping items before we really get into it. The platform that we use is called Contrast. GetContrast.io. They are a fantastic partner to work with if you have a need for a webinar platform, if you're looking for one. Just a note on how their chat works. There's about a 10-second delay between what you put in the audience chat versus what I see on my side when it comes through. I think this is to not throw off my flow, but if you're in my book and you've met with me before, you know that I'm kind of an ADHD goblin a little bit. So I like having my flow interrupted because I get bored. So absolutely ask questions as we go along. I encourage them. Please ask questions. Just know that if I don't see it right away, I don't answer it right away. Don't panic. It just probably hasn't popped up on my side yet. So I have literally have not seen it, but I will. Yeah. The other housekeeping item is this is a little bit interactive. I do love when you pull up your Supered accounts and follow along with the steps that I'm taking so that you get used to them. Obviously, on my side, I will be doing like test, sandbox, whatever. I'll be naming them those. If you have a real life use case that you're thinking that you have in mind that you want to be doing alongside of this as you're following along, absolutely do your use case. Please, you don't have to title everything exactly as I title it. All right. Cool. Oh, also, yes, I do have my Christmas tree up. I don't feel bad about it. It's November 5th. You know what? It's after Halloween. It's fine. So yes, I have my Christmas tree up. If you're seeing that. Okay, let's get into it. All right. So log into your Supereds, and then we're going to go to packages. There's a couple of ways to get to packages, and both ways are a little bit different. So first and foremost, we have packages here on the left-hand side. What this screen is it will list every package that you have in your account. So ones that are created by your team will be first. And then in every Supered account, we do have pre-made packages that are made by the Supered team. I have to cough. Hang on. Oh my goodness, we're off to a great start. Okay, so these packages are pre-made by the Supered team. What they're there for is kind of for spots of inspiration. If you get a little bit stuck, you're not sure what you want to create, if you're looking for kind of a template, anything like that, you can use these for this. All of them contain cards, Supered cards, and most of them contain process rules. Some of them contain HubSpot assets, all sorts of good stuff in here. You're not required to install these. They're just there to help. And then again, if you have ones that are created by you or your team, they will be listed first. Okay. So to create packages, we're going to hit this manage package button. And what it's going to do, if you noticed, is it's going to pop us over into partner. So if you want to go directly to this screen, obviously you go to partner first and then partner packages. We're going to create a package together. So while we hit that button, I like to do a little bit of a clarification of packages versus bases. What's the difference? If you have that question, don't worry, you're not alone. I think probably I'm going to throw a statistic, and all statistics are made up, right? But I feel like 85%, it's a pretty high percentage, honestly, of my partners coming in when I start meeting with them do have a confusion of packages versus bases. And that's okay. So if you have that question, you're in good company. So what I like to say is think of the package as your delivery mechanism. It's your empty box. Your package is your empty box. You put everything into it, and then you're able to deliver it with the package into a client account. Bases are the housing mechanism for all of your content, right? And we do discuss bases, creating bases, best practices for bases in our Get Supered 101 course, which happens Thursday at 8 a.m. Mountain Time. So if you have questions there, absolutely go register for that. And, we can go over stuff like that there. But biggest thing to take away from this course today is that packages are your delivery mechanism, whereas bases are your housing mechanism. You have to have a package in order to deliver a base. Okay, so let's name this package. Again, if you have a real life use case, name it for what you're wanting. Naming conventions that work typically are, if you're creating like your perfect portal builds, you can do the niche specific one and then portal and then the date. Date is important. We'll go over why in just a second, especially for HubSpot assets. For me, I am just going to call this package builder camp. It's not October anymore. 11/5. And I'm not going to give descriptions. I don't need to do that on my side, but descriptions are quite useful if you want to kind of give like a insight into what's in the package for your team or for yourself as you're going along. Important thing on this screen is to hit save. That will save your name in your description. The other thing that's important to note is this is client facing. So when you do put this into a client account, when they log into their Supered accounts, if you're giving them access to it, they will see what you've named it and described it. So once upon a time, I had a client that gave me the best life advice I think I've ever gotten. So I like to share it on these camps is if you wouldn't say it to a judge or to your grandmother, if you wouldn't be comfortable saying it to either one of those, maybe don't put it on the internet. And I feel like that applies really well here as well. We've all had our days where it's like you're creating something for a client that just rubs you the wrong way. Maybe don't put in the description, this is for the dumbest client I've ever had. It's probably bad luck. I wouldn't do it. But we've all been there. I empathize. Okay, so to build a package, we got a couple of places, right? So we can hit in the toolbar right here or hit this button. It will take us to the same spot. Now, this will bring up a screen of all of the kinds of content that you can put into your package to deliver. So bases, rules, updates, and action plans are all Supered assets. And then HubSpot Resources. So we're going to jump right into HubSpot Resources, and then we're going to come back to the Supered assets, right? So HubSpot Resources, we're going to click on that. What this is going to do is it's going to pull open a new window of all of the accounts that you have access to. So this is the portal that you're wanting to copy assets from into the package itself. So I'm going to go into this one. Now, again, if you have like a use case that you are actually wanting to do along with me, go into the portal of the asset that you're wanting to copy over. Okay, so once we select our HubSpot portal, it will pull open Sidekick right here. And Sidekick is turned into our package builder. This is where you can select your resources. So these are all listed alphabetically. And at the end of this call, I will drop a resource in the chat because I'm a resource girly. I do love resources of all of the HubSpot assets that the package builder supports so that you can have that in your back pocket as well as asking us questions. You always are welcome to ask us questions. Okay, so I'm going to come in here. I'm going to add a dashboard. We're going to click on the asset, right? So click on the asset that you want to copy, find its name, and hit add. What this comes up with is the Supered dependency resolver. So Supered has looked through that asset that I've chosen and said, hey, you're going to want to add these additional fields, these additional assets, whatever you want to call them, into this package in order for this asset to behave as it is in this portal. We do give you the option to handle dependencies on your own. I'll be straight with you. I don't think I've ever been given a good use case as to handling dependencies on your own. So if you have one, let me know. Would love to hear it. You're also able to pick and choose. So if if I only want to bring over one of these, I can. But I kind of have what I like to call goldfish brain. So I just add the dependencies always. Just let Supered do it for me. So you're able to do that. You're also able to do custom objects. If you have those builds that you're wanting to bring over, you can add in a custom object, all sorts of good stuff, right? So purpose of time and everything, say that we've added everything into this package that we're wanting to copy over with Supered. I'm going to pop over back into Supered's backend. I'm going to kick Sidekick out of here. We're going to hit this refresh button. This will give me the list of everything that we just added. So remember how I said that the date's important when you're naming? This is why. Supered does not keep an open API with HubSpot. So basically think of it like you're making a photocopy. It's a moment in time. So we do give you a timestamp of when this asset is pulled into the package, because if I went in and I made an update to, this commissions object tomorrow and I wanted it to look the new way, but my super package holds the old one, my super package will have that older version and it won't update dynamically because we don't keep that open API. So timestamp, dates, very important when you're doing naming conventions and you're looking at this right here. Okay. Questions so far? I haven't seen any come through. All right. Adding in supered assets. It's quite simple. It's kind of the same vein, right? You'll click on the supered asset that you're wanting to create. You'll come in here and you can add in the base itself. And then we have this option, mirroring. What mirroring is it's only for supered cards right now. It will push the update. If you make an update at the partner level, it'll push that update towards every account that you have this installed into. It's very useful. You can hit save. Perfect. It'll add in here. And then rules, updates, action plans all kind of follow that same thread. I'm not going to walk through all of those with you. All right. So from here, there's a couple of ways that you can install. You can install a draft package, which will install all of these, so you can kind of test run it. I like to hit publish package draft just because I think I'm just a millennial with PTSD or something from undergrad of just losing papers in the middle of the night as I was working on them in the library. So I save, I publish, I do all sorts of things just to avoid that pain of losing work. Perfect. Okay. So let's talk best practices for installation. Supered has a pet best practice. If you talk to any of the PSMs, it is kind of our favorite best practice for installing anything with a HubSpot resource. And that is by creating a HubSpot developer account. So close out those windows, keep it clean. I'm going to come into here. Now, if you aren't familiar with these, I wasn't when I first started with Supered. I had no idea that these existed. They are free for your HubSpot accounts. I'm dropping the link in the chat for y'all. And what we're going to do is we're going to create an app. So these you can have 10 at a time. And basically what they are is, I think I was told that they're pretty much a full enterprise account. There's some aspects of enterprise accounts that don't exist in them. But they're like fresh, they're clean, they have no data in them, and they're active for 90 days. So you can go in, build, use Supered to pull assets from the build. And it kind of helps with that perfect portal idea, as well as really refining things that you've created, right? So I'm going to continue with my user. It will walk you through a couple of questions if you haven't done this before. Just fill those out. I am not going to use that one. That is our engineer's developer account. I don't want to touch that one. So I'm going to go to the one that I created. And then once you get to this screen, you'll come down to about the middle of it, and we're going to create a test account. And create. This one I like to do dates as well, but I do have other partners in my book that do, like if they're refining something specific, like if they're refining workflows, if they're doing something specific for a client too, that they're wanting to kind of be in a safe spot. They don't want to have to request like a active sandbox or anything. You can use that as well. But again, these are active at 90 days, like for 90 days. So after 90 days, it kind of locks you out. You can't make changes, but you can still pull stuff out with the Supered account. So I'm going to call this 11.5 package build account and create. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to come back over into Supered. And this is where it gets fun. We are going to install, which is interesting. Oh, because okay, this is new, by the way, guys. So installing mirrored bases into your own instance is not allowed. Why is it not allowed? Because it kind of creates this weird like death loop where if you install a mirrored base into your own account, then you couldn't make any edits to the content in those cards. So I'm actually going to remove that base by doing this way. We're going to remove it. Perfect. Now I can install. Publish. Perfect. So That was fun. I haven't seen that live yet. It's very exciting. It's very exciting for me because sometimes I would get those panicked messages kind of late at night, because sometimes that's the only time people have to work, saying, why can't I make edits? That's why we changed. We changed it so you literally cannot install into your own instance. Because why? Because packages are the way to get information to your clients. Okay, we're going to start install. That first step is supered assets. So if we had an unmirrored base or anything like that, it would get installed. And then this second step right here says complete setup. That is specifically for our action plans, which I believe we're going to have another one of these camps dedicated to action plans when they're ready. They're so close. They look so dope. They are in beta. They are in your accounts. If you want to go play with them, absolutely. I encourage it. Go play with them. Let us know what you like, what you hate. Let us know, right? So that's what that step 2 is for the complete setup, because there is some post-installation configuration that needs to happen with action plans. Now, to install the HubSpot resources, you'll come to this pink hyperlink here, or you can hit create on any of these assets down here. It'll take you to the same spot. So we're going to do that. We're going to hit that. We're going to go into that developer account that we just created. Well, mine is that 11.5. And over in Sidekick, you'll notice that it gives us the title of the package that we're wanting to install. And it's giving us this install package button. So we're going to hit install. And we have an error. Errors are okay. They happen. This is why these developer accounts are best practice, a favorite best practice of the PSM team here at Supered, because sometimes errors will happen. So having an error happen in an account that has no data in it, that is perfect, right? It's a safe spot. So what this error is telling us is that it's expecting a radio dial, but I had changed it to a text. So there's a couple of ways I can fix it. I can stop the install, change it back in the source portal if I wanted to re-add the asset and install from there. That only works if there's no data in the field, right? Or I can just hit continue and I can change it after it installs, because that is a native HubSpot property. So I can change it back if I need to. It won't affect the installation of the asset. And my internet's a little slow. Usually this goes a lot faster. All right. Everything has been installed. Now there are a couple of different colors of check marks. So in here, I only have the one. I have green, which green means that Supered created the asset. It did not exist previously in this account. Supered created it. If I had a blue check mark, what that would mean is that it already existed in the account and Supered skipped over creating it. So as you are getting into using the Supered package builder to install HubSpot resources, you don't need to worry about it double installing anything. The way that we're able to kind of discern, I don't know if discern's the right word, but we're going to go with it. The way that we're able to discern which assets we can skip is by the name. So if something has the same name in it, Supered will skip over it. There are a couple of assets that will come up with like a pop-up as you're installing saying, hey, this already exists. Do you want to create it again? Those assets are typically like dashboards, reports, workflows, things like that, where we do give you a little bit more control in there. So if you do have, for whatever reason, maybe you have a report and a workflow named the same thing. I don't know why you would, but never say never. You do have a little bit more control over if you want to create it twice, right? Or not even twice if it's a workflow and a report, if you have assets that have the same name. Okay, ways that you can double check once you've installed is these kind of turn into a little hyperlink. And you can come in here and check that, you know, this has been created. Great. If I wanted to come into my dashboard, double check it. It's not going to pull any data, of course, because there's no data in this account, but I can double check if all of the reports in my dashboard came over. All right. Questions so far? I haven't seen any come through, so I think y'all are following. I mean, it's pretty, I like to call it elegantly simple. But if you do have questions, please ask. And don't feel bad if you don't have questions yet. You know, you don't know what you don't know. Okay, a couple of other things that I want to point out before we move on is in here, you'll see that we have this install single button here. Ooh, question. When importing a client's dashboard with HubSpot resources, have it in when importing a client's dashboard with HubSpot Resources, can have it on your own Supered account. Is the question that if you're importing from a client's HubSpot account, can you have it in your Supered account? Yes. As long as you have access to that client's HubSpot account, you can pull the resources that you've built in their account into your Supered account and then be able to rinse and repeat them, right? Yeah, it means that you can't have it. Okay. So we do have this install single button right here. So if you have made edits to your package, yes, yeah, you can. So that's kind of the point of our package builder. It's a great question on Andres. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. The kind of the point of the package builder is to be able to pull these assets out of your client's accounts that you've created, right? And to vault them so that you are able to repeat using them, right? So you can copy paste, right? So if I had built this custom object in a client's portal, I can pull it into one of my Supered accounts, not Supered accounts, one of my Supered packages, and be able to use it into multiple other client accounts if they are needing this custom object of commissions for this example, right? So you can do that with any of the HubSpot resources that the package builder supports. You can pull them into a Supered package and then use that Supered package over and over and over again into other client accounts so that you save time, right? On the stuff that you're building for everybody. You can save time by using the Supered package. Okay, so the install single button, what this does is it gives you the opportunity to install a single part of a package. So you don't have to go through the whole package if you only need to add in that asset, right? If you only need the one asset in there, you can utilize that install single. Pull the dashboard that is super exciting and want to clean it and then use this one on another hub. Yes, yeah. So you would pull that dashboard into a package. You can install it into one of these accounts here, clean it up, right? Scrub it of anything that doesn't need to be in there. So it's a perfect version of it. And you can pull that perfect version into its own Supered package that you then use for future builds. The other thing to note on this screen here is this business unit primary. I like to do a little asterisk, right? Little side note of for this business unit, you're welcome. For this business unit, Supered does support business units, but we will not create them because they have that additional monetary amount to it. Like they have to be added into accounts. They're not just included. Supered won't create any asset that's like an added amount on top of what someone's paying for their HubSpot account. So while we do support them, we won't create them. What do I mean by support them? You can assign assets into a business unit using the package builder. We just won't create it. So that business unit needs to exist in the receiving portal before you can assign an asset to it. If you're not using business units, it will always say BU primary here. That's okay. If you're not using business units, you can ignore that. Okay. So let's talk editing packages. So you come in, you've made some edits, you made some updates to certain HubSpot assets or other assets you want to add things. It follows pretty much the same vibe. That's not the right word. My brain's not awake. It follows the same steps. There it is. As when you are first creating it. You just need to go into the package. So I can come in here and I hit open and we'll go to build package and that will pull us to this screen again. And if I made some updates to my HubSpot resource, I can come in here. It will pop me into this window again, where I can select whatever portal I've made the edits in. I'm just going to go back into this one. And in here, you can see that we have a remove button now. So I can remove that. Now, we all do 92 things all at once, right? So you remove something from the package builder and you come back to a couple hours later and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't remember what I removed. That's okay. Supered's gotcha. You can come back over into the back end here. And we keep a list of deleted resources for you. So you can see which ones have been removed. So if you are like me, you're doing too many things at once, you get pulled away, come back in a couple hours. You don't have to just somehow remember in your brain. Supered will tell you. So it'll tell me which ones I've removed. And then I can re-add if I need to. And then, so if you're done with that, you've added in the edits, all of that's the same process. You would refresh your package and publish the draft. All right. So that is packages, naming them, saving names, adding in HubSpot resources, installation best practices, editing, removing. All right, we've covered a lot in 30 minutes, y'all. Okay, now these resources that I promised you. So we do have a couple of resources that I want to leave you with. This article is written by our very own CTO. He built Super Package Builder. So this has everything that the package builder supports as far as HubSpot resources. So it's a really good resource to have in your back pocket. Again, you can ask us, you can ask questions of the Super team, use Super Jam. It's a great place to be to ask the questions. But you do have access to this as well. So it's just a nice little resource. Obviously, I am not going to sit here and read it with you because I'm still scrolling. We're still scrolling. So there's a lot in there. The other resource that I like to leave with all of my partners is just a common installation errors and troubleshooting. Because again, errors happen, but it's okay, right? I haven't yet run into an error that like myself or my team can't fix. They happen. You haven't broken Supered. Honestly, if I haven't broken Supered at this point yet, and I've been here a year and some change, and I haven't broken it catastrophically yet, I don't think y'all can. So take comfort in that. But I do like to provide these resources so that you have them. And the very last resource that I want to leave y'all with is access to our Super Jam. So what is Super Jam? That is our Slack community. It's free to join. So I'm going to drop that invite link here. And it is a fantastic place to connect with other Super partners, Super users, connect with the Super team, all of that. Okay. Ooh, question. So in order to clean any asset like HubSpot dashboard, you always have to create a new dev portal, insert the package. There you can clean it, update the package. You don't have to do it this way. It is the best practice that the Super team has identified to create that dev portal, insert the package, clean it, update the package, and then install it wherever you want. That is the best practice for us. If you feel like you want to install it into another portal that you have access to, like if you have a sandbox you want to put it in, that's fine. Just know that when there's live data, it adds just a little bit of excitement. So I would strongly recommend doing that new dev portal to put that package into, scrub it of whatever you don't need to have in that asset, and then pull everything from that new portal into like your perfect package, right? That's what I would do personally, and I strongly recommend it that way. So yes, in that frame, correct. Yeah. Did I drop that? I don't know if I dropped that link. There's that link again, just in case I dropped it. So Super Jam is our free Slack community. It's got other Super users in it, Super partners. It has the entire Super team. It's where announcements happen of the product, exciting things coming up. It's where you can request features. It's a really great community to join. So I strongly recommend that you join that as well so that you can kind of get access to everybody on the Super team. Hang out with us. We're a good time. I keep saying Ugh. It's my filler word of the day, I guess. All right, so that is the package builder. It's probably one of my favorite things about Supered, but I mean, take that with a grain of salt. I feel like I say everything about Supered is my favorite, but that's okay. I'm allowed to. I work here. Thanks so much for spending the last 30 minutes with me going over package builder. If you have further questions, hit me up over in Super Jam. I am everywhere. You can send me a DM if you need to over there. Just let me know. And as always, stay awesome, stay strong, and stay supered. Bye, guys. Have a great week.